Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to your first time here. I'm May, and today I'm going to be giving my spooky recommendations for this coming spooky season. I wanted to publish this in the middle of September so that you have time to get them from the library, buy them, however you need to get them, because I think that these are all really good and some of the best like fall, Halloween, spooky books that I've read in the last 3 years. So it's going to be a fun little video. I am in the spooky gear already. It's literally only September 9th when I'm filming this. It doesn't matter. This is like the build up to spooky season, so I like to prepare myself. And that's why I'm giving you this list now instead of actually in October. So the way this video is going to work is people like to use spooky in kind of like different ways, or at least maybe I do. Like spooky is almost like an umbrella term because it's just like spooky season can mean a lot of things to lots of different people. So in my head, there's like spooky Halloween smut. Then there's like spooky, actually like scary books. And then there's like cozy spooky where it's like witches. You know what I mean? Like that's how my brain categorizes them. Like they're not, sometimes there's like an intermingling of all three. Like you can have a smutty, scary witch book. Not saying that you can't. I just mean like sometimes like I read a book that is like called spooky, but it's like just like a witch owning a cafe, which is totally fine. So that's why I wanted to like put these into categories, so like if you were looking for a certain thing, you can jump to that part of the video, and unless you want to watch the whole video, and then please do. So I have picked 4 books in each category, and it'll be cozy, smutty, and then actually scary to my, well, okay, listen, the scary is subjective because I get scared very easily. So you might read these and be like, that's so lame. But generally to me, like these were actually scary. That's why I'm putting them on this list. And if you're wondering what my qualifications are, for the past 3 years, I have read Halloween books all Halloween long. Like last year I literally read 30 Halloween books in the month of October. So I think I'm at like 50, 60 Halloween spooky vibe books, and I'm going to be giving you a list of 12. So later in the spooky season, you're going to get a video of tier ranking all of the spooky books that I've read, but this is like my top ones, like the ones that I would highly recommend that you read. Okay, the first category that I'm going to talk about is cozy spooky. So these are going to be my list of books that are like cozy, fuzzy, like maybe just have like Halloween vibes, like maybe it just takes place during Halloween or takes place in fall, has something to do with just this time of year, and typically they're romances. So I have a list of 4, and I'm gonna be starting off with Pumpkin Spice and Poltergeist by Ali K. Munford. I talk about this one quite a bit because it came out last year, and I really loved it. It's a novella, like a little bit longer than a novella. It's like 260 pages, but it's like a feel good like rom-com with like exorcisms and like romantic baggage, and there's snarky ghosts, and it's sapphic, and it's like in a small town, so it has like that charm of it. And it just felt like such a like a warm hug to sit down and read this book. It feels like drinking like the first cup of a hot beverage on the first day of the spooky season is about how this book felt to me. This is following an apothecary witch who gets drunk one night and goes and opens up the coffin of her ex-girlfriend and like brings her back, like brings back the ghost of her ex-girlfriend. And her ex-girlfriend decides to haunt her until she finds a new romance partner, and also like discover what happened to her because she has no memory of her death. And she's like, I want to know what happens to me. This enters the other main character who just wants to work at the local cafe, and she doesn't even realize that magic actually exists. Like, this is a very magical town. Like, there is witches and demons and werewolves, and it's just like any kind of fantasy magical creature that you can think of lives in this town. But she doesn't realize there's actually like magic here until she starts to fall in love with this witch who she doesn't even really know is a witch. And it's really cute in my opinion. It's like golden retriever girlfriend and black cat girlfriend kind of vibes. It's really cute. Review of it was, it's a sapphic paranormal romance, so it was ticking all the boxes, and I actually cried at the ending. Really cheesy and cute with a spooky twist, makes for a perfect October read. I think that sums it up really well. The Modern Girl's Guide to Magic. I actually loved every single book in this series. This is a 3-book series. Yeah. The second one is a vampire, second one is a werewolf, but this one was so good. So this book is about a witch who has an entire family of witches, but she's the only one whose magic doesn't quite work the way that she wants it to be. It blows up in her face, it goes awry, like her magic is not like under her control. Well, she comes back to the Charming Cove, which is where a lot of her family lives, and there is a competition going on that if you win, you get like the biggest magical fortune in England. And this enters in the love interest, who is a magical, sexy billionaire mage who she's hated her entire life, and they have to compete together. And she's like, how am I gonna not fall in love with him? I need to focus on the competition. Well, of course they're gonna fall in love, because that's just the way it is. The thing about this one is it's not even set in Halloween. I'm just putting this on the list because it has like the vibes of fall. Like it's witches and mages and a magical competition, and it feels really spooky, and it's fun, and it's like it's really cute. So I would really recommend it, even though it's not like specifically about Halloween or specifically takes place in fall. I still think it's a really good book to read. And the third book on this list I've talked about quite often because it's one of my favorite books from last year, and it's my favorite holiday romance that I've ever read, period. It is called The Night Before Christmas by Sarah Roche. I'm really not sure how to say their last name. And before you judge this too much, it's supposed to be cringy and cliche. That's like the fun of it. It is a romance between the Prince of Halloween and the Prince of Christmas. So the plot is Nicholas Claus used to love Christmas until his father turned it into a whole PR nightmare, and now he doesn't really like get involved in it. Well, one night he ends up like making out with a guy behind a bar who was hot and mysterious and everything he ever wants in a man. And then he comes back the next day and he is commanded by his father, who is like, you need to grow up and do your duty, and you need to marry a princess of another holiday so that you can like secure your throne or like secure your right to Christmas. Something really stupid like that. But the girl that he's supposed to marry is his best friend, and his brother actually likes her. So it's like messy. He doesn't even want to marry his best friend, but he's like being almost forced to. Well, it gets even more messier because the Prince of Halloween, who just ends up to be the guy that he was making out with previously, shows up to compete for his best friend's hand in marriage. So they're competing for a marriage that neither one of them actually wants. And they've already made out. So they're like two gay men being forced to marry a princess when they actually only want each other. And it's bantery, and it's silly, and it's cozy, spooky. Like, you could honestly read this for Christmas or Halloween. Like, it can actually be read any time of the year. In my opinion, it's just that freaking good. And it was described to me as Red, White, and Royal Blue meets The Night Before Christmas, and I think that's actually such a great way of explaining it. It has that sexy, quirky rom-com feeling of Red, White, Royal Blue, but then it has like the creepy, cold-hearted Prince vibes of The Nightmare Before Christmas. So I think it's a really great way of describing it, and I give it 5 stars. And like I said, it's one of my favorite holiday romances ever. And then the last book in the cozy, spooky category is Mr. October by Bethany Weaver. I don't know what my review of this one is because I just have it as a 5-star because when I first moved over to Storygraph, I wasn't reviewing books yet. But I think I really liked it because it was like really short. It's 80 pages. It's like a novella. It's just like a Halloween novella. It says Halloween has come early in the steamy friends to lovers, teacher romance filled with secret pining, fun hijacks, and quirky small town feels. I feel like almost every single one of these books had small town vibes. I don't know why when it comes to Christmas and Halloween, I love a small town romance. I hate them any other time of the year. It's confusing to me too. But it's essentially at this school, they do Halloween pranks, and usually the main character like doesn't participate in them, but this year she's like, fuck you guys, I'm participating, and I'm going after the history teacher who is Mr. October, because she's like, I'm gonna get him. Okay, now to the smutty, sexy, spooky category, which is personally my favorite category. Obviously, I picked 4 books, and the first one is Charming Your Dad by Sarah Blue. This is a trilogy, but they're so quick and so fun, and I think they serve as standalones. But the first one is called Charming Your Dad, and if you can't get it, it's going to be someone sleeping with someone's dad. So the main character is named Blair, and her ex-boyfriend cheats on her, and she's like, fuck him, and she decides the best way to get back at him is by sleeping with his dad. But then it's not just sleeping with him. She does end up getting like really hooked to him. She's really drawn to him. There's a whole mystery about him. And she's like, I figure out who he is and what he is and why I'm so drawn to him. Like, it is a paranormal romance centered around a taboo attraction. Like, she's gonna sleep with his dad, and there's gonna be an age gap between the two of them, like a legal age gap. Don't worry. And Blair is so like snarky and sarcastic, and I love her. I love her. And then the second book is Bloodshed by Molly Doyley. This is an interesting one because technically the first book, the 0.5, is Scream for Us, and it's like the first 124 pages of Bloodshed. Like, it came out beforehand, like as like a little teaser, and then she ended up turning it into a full-size book. So if you're gonna read this, I would recommend just skipping Scream for Us and just reading Bloodshed. And this one is really, really dark. Like, this, when I said like it could be in the spooky, actual spooky category, I do mean it, but I put it here because there's a lot of smut in this. A reverse harem romance. And the plot, the very small plot of this book, is that Quinn, who is the main character, wanders into a Halloween party that is supposed to go down in history, and she is propositioned by these three men in masks, and they're like, just give us the night. And then she does go with them, and it's like, will it just be the night, or will she get like hooked into their world? But they have a whole serious backstory that's really, really dark. Like, it's like self-harm, bullying, stalking, choking, knife play, fire play, murder, breath play, masking, self-harm. Like, this book is dark, and it's scary too. Like, people will like have pumpkin heads that are just actually just heads. like they'll just have heads on their door step. So it's like genuinely, like, I loved it, but it could really be in the scary spooky category, but I think there's more smut than plot. So I would read this. Like, if you like masked men romances, this would be a really, really good one. But it's like breaknecking speed. Like, it's a really fast read. Like, the events of the book happen really, really fast. And the second book finally did come out. I had to wait like 3 years, and it wasn't as good, but it's still a really good book. But like, the masked men just aren't wearing those masks for like Halloween. Like, they're actually like masked men, like in real life, like just every day. And they have a whole secret back history to them. And the book will take you through like who they actually are and how she's connected to them, and if it really gonna be just one night. I mean, like, it takes place in Salem, so it's like about Halloween, but it's like, is it just gonna be Halloween? You know, like, it's seductive, and it's very like high tension, high emotions throughout the entire book. I keep saying that, like, I'm like a broken record. It's really good. Obviously, it's really good for me to have it on this list, but still, like, this is probably one of my favorites. Like, I'm putting all 12 of these on the list, but this might be like in my top 5, like, scary horror books ever. And then Burn for Jack is in a holiday horror series, but I've actually never read the other ones. But like, I know one is like the Easter Bunny, one is Cupid, one is Krampus. I haven't read them, but they're so short that I might read like the Cry for Krampus one in December. But these are so smutty, like 93 pages. Like, there is a plot and it is scary, but this whole point is the smut. But the guy who plays in this book is like an actual pumpkin-headed guy. Like, not like just like a costume. Like, he literally is a pumpkin-headed guy. Essentially, with the plot, the very, 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 very small plot is that the main character has a bunch of witches in her family, and she's always been warned not to go to the pumpkin patch on Halloween because the pumpkin-headed man named Jack is waiting for her, and he'll do bad things to her. And the main character is like, well, now I'm just intrigued. Now I'm just curious. So she goes to the pumpkin patch anyways, and is like, hey, Jack, get me. Like, it's so no survival skills at all, but like, that's not the point. Like, she doesn't want to survive. Like, she wants to be seduced by this pumpkin-headed man. And you might listen to this video and judge me, but we listen and we don't judge. That's why I made them into their own category, so that if smut are not your thing, you can just skip to the next one. But it's like very light plot, mostly smut, but it was scary because of the fact like he's like, there's like a witch hunt at some point, and like it did like give me the chills at several points. Like, so it is listed as like erotica horror, and I definitely think that it definitely could be, and it might be like a little triggering to some people because I know like there is gore in it. And then this last book is what you guys might judge me on the most. It's called Carving by Kara by Dana Leanne, and let me just say that a cob of corn is put somewhere that you wouldn't typically put a cob of corn, a corn cob, however you say it. That's all I'm gonna say. And I've never been able to look at corn the same way after reading this book, but it was so good. Like, it's also another novella. The plot, that's not very much of a plot, is that the main character is a tattoo artist, and on Halloween, she gets stalked by a masked man, and he, like, tells her to run, and when he catches up to her, they're in a, like, corn stalk, and then things happen, and it's very dark, and you should check trigger warnings, and it's not for everyone. I feel like this category is gonna really get people to judge me. They're gonna be like, May, what the hell? Friday might enjoy this category because Friday also likes weird smut, or like, I don't know if he'd necessarily say weird smut, but he gets intrigued by weird smut, and then like will read it. And this is definitely one of the weirdest smuts that I've ever read because she literally gets with a corn cob. So that's my list of sexy, smutty, spooky books. They're all mostly novellas, I think, except for Bloodshed, which has a full-size book. And I don't recommend those lightly. Those are for, like, the slutty bitches who want, like, an easy, smutty book to read while they're just sitting down with a cup of hot cocoa. Like, it's okay if you don't read these. I'm just putting them out there because I've read a lot of smutty, spooky books. Like, that's typically what I go for when it's Halloween time. I want to read about spooky smut. Like, that's like, to me, that's like the best thing to read during Halloween. And I've read so many of them, and I have read so many that sucks. Like, I'm going to be doing a tier ranking at some point of all the books that I've read, and you'll see a lot of the ones that have smut in them are going to be rated so low because some of them just suck. But these are the ones that I think are really, really good. Like, these might be, like, the only ones that are good. I can't remember because it's been so long since I've read some of these. But these are the ones I generally was like, oh my god, this is so wild. This is like, when you think of spooky, wild smut, these are the books that come to mind for me. And now for the category that most of you are probably here for, is the actual scary, spooky books. And like I said, I might not be spooky as much as some of you are. So just keep that in mind. Here is another little disclaimer. I don't think any of these are really set in Halloween or meant to be read specifically as Halloween books. These are just books that I read during spooky season previously, or they came out during spooky season. But I think these can be read at any point, really. Like, these are not, like, exclusively, like, Halloween stories. But these are the ones that, like, I read during Halloween where it, like, really stuck with me. So, the first one is Tastes Like Candy by Ivy Thorlin. This I read for Allie's Tiny Terror book club, and it was really good. It is about this group of high school seniors who do, like, a senior scavenger night, and this year it is going to be at a carnival. And they plan the whole thing, and after the carnival, like, they're supposed to go meet up at, like, a diner and celebrate their upcoming senior year. So it's supposed to be, like, a little fun night, and then they, like, are supposed to go celebrate. It's not supposed to be anything scary, not supposed to be anything, like, horrific. It's supposed to be, like, a simple night. Well, things take a very spooky turn, because after they get into the carnival, a man in a mask starts slashing the way through the group. And I put this on this list because this has some of the weirdest killings ever. Like, I don't want to give spoilers, but, like, the ways that, like, this person kills people isn't, like, the normal, like, stab them, shoot them. Like, the way that they die is on par with the carnival theme, is what I'm gonna say. So this one generally creeped me out because I go to carnivals all the time, but the story is about like figuring out who's killing them and why they're killing them. The next one is Butcher and Blackbird, which did come out during spooky season. It's just not like necessarily about spooky season, but this is about serial killers who have a competition with another serial killer to see who could like get the bad guys, pretty much. That's the best way of saying this. And this is on this list because this also has some really crazy way of killing people. And the gore is like crazy. Like a lot of it's food related. So I read this book and there was some food items that I couldn't look at the same way for quite some time. And you should definitely check the trigger warnings at the start of the book of like what it all entails, because it gets very detailed sometimes. And it does have a little bit of smut, but like the smut is not the point. And this one made me sick to my stomach sometimes. Like it was scary. Like the gore of it all felt really on par for Halloween. And like the bloodlust of it all felt really on par for Halloween. And I do think it would be a good time to read it, but you could read it whenever. Cavendish Home for Boys and Girls is another one that doesn't actually take place around Halloween, but I read during Halloween, and this one scared me. Like, and it's a middle grade book, and this one genuinely freaked me out a little bit. This one is about a home for boys and girls, kind of like an orphanage almost, and people go in there and they never come back. And if they do come back, they're changed. So the main character decides to go in there to see what's going on, and it's not super predictable. Like, what's going on inside that house actually kind of gave me the creeps and scared me. It's a middle grade by Claire Legrand, and it was their debut, but it's not wrote like a debut. Like, it's wrote very well for a debut, and it actually kind of blew my mind. And this one actually takes place during Halloween, and it's a novella, and it's called Hollow's Fright by Dakota Wilde. This is another one that has like that carnival setting. It's set in Nightmare Acres, which is like where the dark, depraved, and the lost work, but also come. But people don't realize that the people that actually work there are like actually like magical people, like vampires, demons, ghosts, witches. They don't realize that they actually are those people, so they come thinking that it's all fake, and they're actually there to like get souls or like eat them. And that's not just all of it, but it's like, it gave me the creeps because it's like a very carnival style. I think it's marketed as like humans come to their cursed playground, but will they leave? And the main character ends up being there, and she ends up like getting like not stalked, but she ends up getting along with one of the people, and she's like, oh, there's more to him than we think, and it's hot. These are the books that I would recommend for the cozy spooky people, the smutty spooky people, the people that want to be scared. Like I said, these might not scare you, but these scared me. And maybe I'm a little easy to scare, but still, you know, they might still be entertaining for you at the very least. So this is my little recommendation videos, and I hope you like it. This is my Halloween shirt. I'm gonna move my mic for a second so I can show it off. Yeah, isn't she cute? I love this Halloween shirt. Oh, you can let me know what your favorite Halloween book has been, what you're excited to read this Halloween. This Halloween's a little bit different for me because typically I will make a whole list of Halloween books that I haven't read yet, and I'll just spend the whole month reading them. But this Halloween, I'm actually letting my friend Friday pick out my TBR, and a lot of them are spooky. Like, there's like a lot of mysteries, a lot of horrors, so I think it still fits what the spooky season is. I'm just not picking them out myself, and I do know he's already given me the list, and quite a bit of them, if not all of them, fit the vibes of Halloween. So I'm really excited to get to them. And yeah, we still have a couple weeks to go, but this will give you some time to prepare if you want to read any of these. If you might give you some recommendations. This might give you a not to read list. If some of these are like, what the hell, May? At least you know not to read them. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video, and I hope everyone has a good rest of September, and I hope everyone's really excited for spooky season because it is like the best time to be alive. Truly. But yeah, that's the video. Bye-bye.